Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Lori Horton is with us this morning sharing her recipe for peanut butter monkey bread.
I know, it's a lot.
It's amazing.
But oh my gosh, so good. Definitely a little bit of an extra rich recipe this morning, but that's okay. Once in a while, you know, the weather's changing eventually. This is one that everybody probably has a classic recipe of that mom or grandma used to make. Some folks call it bubble loaf, monkey bread, you know, whatever your family calls it, it's kind of all the same thing.
Yes.
It's biscuit dough, brown sugar, a lot of butter, makes this yummy, sort of caramely, almost like a cinnamon roll in some respects. But we're going to change it up just a little bit this morning, and we're going to add a peanut butter element to it. So we are going to get a little bit creative there, but we always start with that classic bundt pan. And I'm not going to say I know why we always bake it in a bundt pan, but we always bake it in a bundt pan. It's one of those. So you want to be sure, even in a good non-stick one, that you give it a good spray, because this one's going to be kind of gooey.
Yes, all that brown sugar.
Caramelized brown sugar, so it's just going to help you a lot to turn out when we're done. So our good friend, the baking spray there, that good nonstick, is always a great start. And then we're going to have some biscuit dough. And I experimented a little bit to see which size of biscuits worked the best on this, and the loaf that I made here, I actually used just the standard size, like the little skinny biscuit cans. I actually used 4 cans for that.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so it's about the same ounces as 2 cans of the jumbo biscuits, which is what I have here. So it's just kind of your choice, but you know, you want to use a plain biscuit, just like a buttermilk style. You don't want to get any of the fancy ones with a lot of extra butter or things on them, because we're going to put a lot of flavor on here. We don't need to really conflict that. So if you're using the large ones, we can cut these into halves or even quarters. And what I did with the small ones is I mixed some halves and some whole ones, because again, they're about half the size. So it's kind of good. It gets us a little bit more peanut butter in there and kind of mixes up the bites as they pull apart.
Who doesn't want more peanut butter?
You can't go wrong. So our next item is our miniature peanut butter cups. And these are the ones that come already unwrapped, just ready to bite, not the little bite-sized ones that are still in the paper. We want to go even smaller. So just take one of those, and we're going to actually just press it into our piece of biscuit dough and wrap that up. Make sure you get it sealed up. So you may have to kind of pinch those little edges a little bit, and then just kind of roll it into a nice ball. So it's nice, tight in there. You're not going to get a lot of seepage. We're going to do this for the entire I use 2 packages of the jumbo ones, or as I said,
get the kids in the kitchen.
Get the kids in the kitchen, wash their hands. This is a good project for them. And then when we come back, we'll go on to our next step of how we're going to put all of our goody, yummy, sticky things on top of these and get them ready to bake.
All right, sounds good. Stick around, we'll be right back. Well, welcome back. Lori has been showing us her recipe for peanut butter monkey bread. It looks so amazing. So we're making our little biscuit dough balls filled with Reese's.
I know, it's again, a very rich one. So we started out with those full size, like jumbo biscuits. And I just chose the plain buttermilk ones. I don't think you want to get any that really have a lot of the extra butter. You definitely don't want to be using like the flaky style, because those are going to be a little harder to seal up with our peanut butter cups inside. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking some of these, because they are the larger ones, and I'm making some quarter-sized pieces of dough with a peanut butter cup mix wrapped up in there, and some that are just a half-size piece of dough. So if you're using the regular size little cans of biscuit dough that are kind of those skinnier ones, you're actually going to need 4 cans of those as opposed to 2 of the jumbo. And you'll actually use some whole ones and maybe just some halves, because they're a lot thinner pieces of dough. So once we've got all of these biscuits totally full of peanut butter yum in the middle, we are going to take those, and first we're going to take a couple sticks of butter and get that melted. And you can do that in the microwave, but keep in mind it will make a mess if you don't do it on a low temp. So be very patient with that and do that in short intervals. But we're just going to take that and dip that in our butter, and then we're going to bring it over here to some brown sugar. Now, there are a lot of different ways and a lot of different recipes that call for how you do this process.
Okay.
And you can take your butter and brown sugar and actually mix them together.
Like pour it over.
And kind of pour it over. What I find with that is the butter tends to kind of separate as it bakes, and you get a little bit too much in the bottom.
Sure, and maybe you're left with some dry pieces.
Yeah,
with not
almost
a lot of
little
butter.
bit of oil in the bottom too. So I kind of like to do it this way, but it's perfectly fine either way.
Okay.
Just go easy with it if you are doing the pouring method, so that you don't end up with a ton of extra sort of butter and oil in the bottom after it bakes. I had a recipe years ago a friend gave me that you almost had to pour some of the butter off of it, or else it was just going to be such a mess when you turned it out of the pan. So I always like to experiment. I try different ones, and you can kind of glean different things from each one that you like about it or you don't. So play a little bit with this. Some recipes will have some cinnamon mixed in with your brown sugar because, again, it's almost more of like a cinnamon roll, type of flavor. But with our peanut butter with this, we really don't want to go that route. So this is just straight up brown sugar. And what you're going to end up with is really about half of this bundt pan full of our little dough balls with those peanut butter cups inside. And if you are doing them in 2 different sizes like I did, I try to kind of vary those as I fill up my pan. So I've kind of got some big pieces and small pieces.
Sure.
And what that does too, when you go to pull it apart, you get some variety there, and they're not all just those big chunky pieces of dough. I think it makes it bake a little more evenly as well.
For sure, probably,
So we're going to continue getting all of these coated, and this is going to just bake in a 325-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. And we come back, we're going to make a peanut butter glaze to go on the top.
All right, sounds like a plan. Stick around, don't want to miss it. We're with Lori Horton this morning, and she's showing us the last few steps for this delicious looking peanut butter monkey bread.
Yeah, so we got all of our dough balls in that bundt pan, and then as you go, you can even sprinkle just a little extra brown sugar on the top. I baked this one last night, and it went for about 22 minutes.
Okay.
And then I added a little bit more, I brushed some butter. A silicone brush is really good for this, so you don't kind of damage those partially baked dough pieces. Brushed a little bit of extra butter on there and sprinkled some more brown sugar on top. And then I baked it for about 10 more minutes. So like 32 minutes total.
Yeah.
This is not really one that you can do a good toothpick test or anything to, because you're going to tap those peanut butter cups, or you're going to kind of take a half a risen piece of dough and get a soggy piece. So you just have to kind of play it by ear. It's going to come out really nice and golden brown on top, which will be the bottom, of course, when you turn it out of your bundt pan. But you're going to see that brown sugar and everything start to kind of turn and get really nice and golden brown. So our last step here is going to be this peanut butter drizzle on the top, and that's just what really pulls all that together. And again, not a necessary step, but just
why not?
Why not? So good. So I've got a couple cups of powdered sugar already in my bowl here, just regular powdered sugar. And I put about a half a cup of just plain creamy peanut butter. And of course, you're going to want to use creamy on this.
For sure.
In the microwave for just a few seconds to get it where it's really nice and pourable.
Does it burn easily if you don't watch it?
You want to go easy, yes. It's kind of like your butter, that it can kind of pop and make a big mess in the microwave, and then you've scorched it as well. So just go gentle. If your microwave has an adjustment for the power temperature, I really recommend doing about 50% and like 30 seconds at a time. You can always keep it going, but once you've ruined it, you've ruined it.
So true.
You're going to just very easily start to mix that powdered sugar and peanut butter together. It's going to be pretty thick. So to make a nice sort of drizzle out of it, we're going to add a little milk, or I always prefer heavy whipping cream.
Ooh, delicious.
Just makes it a little bit richer.
Now, would you recommend, stirring this by hand instead of a mixer? Just
you don't want a lot of air in that either.
Okay.
So sometimes when we mix by hand, it's not always the easiest way to do it as far as strength. But when you add that mixer element to it, you're going to whip a lot of air into there, and we just don't want that in this. So we're going to go slowly. We almost kind of just mash it a little at a time. And as far as how much liquid or milk, cream, whichever you prefer to add, you're going to just do that a little at a time until you get a really nice pourable consistency out of that. And it's going to be at least a quarter of a cup, probably closer to a half a cup.
Okay.
But this is going to be plenty of glaze. You could actually put a coating of this on there if you wanted to. So if you want to do a little less, you don't necessarily have to make this much at a time. Do about a cup of powdered sugar and a quarter of a cup of peanut butter. If you're doing multiple of them, you only need one batch of this for
fantastic.
sure.
Yeah.
And you could also even put a little cup of this in the center of your bundt pan and think of it more as almost a dipping sauce.
Oh, sure.
As you pull apart your little pieces off of there. So you can do it either way. So we're getting just about down to where we can take this and put it in a bag and make a nice little drizzle. You can, of course, just pour it on there. You don't have to get that fancy, but you guys know how I do. So I'm going to put it in the bag when I get to that point and make it look all nice and even. And I even went and sprinkled a few little mini chocolate chips on there. While that was warm, they melted in just a little. It's perfect, spot on. So once we've got that all stirred together and all of that cream is incorporated, and I splashed a little bit on myself.
Just a little.
It is Monday after all, guys. Things can't go perfectly. So you'll have a nice creamy topping for that.
Ooh,
add as much as you want, and then that's just going to pop apart for a really yummy treat.
Fantastic. Well, Lori, thank you as always for being with us this morning. Happy to have you. Stick around. We're back with more right after this.